Cubes of the Cash, Gary B, the Casual Comic Guy here, and I am joined by my co-host with the most, Rob, Stax of Comics. How you doing tonight, sir?
Smoking? I don't know.
Back, tan, rested, and ready from vacation?
Wow. Just dropping one kid off at school, and I'll do it again here in September, drop the other one off, and then live the dream with no kids.
And hope they don't drop themselves back off at home, right?
Yeah. Listen, that's not gonna work, dude.
That's why I send them out of state, so they can jumpstart their lives out of state where they can afford to live.
And as you guys can see, our guest of the evening in the spotlight, we have Eddie from the Batcave. Good evening, sir. How are you tonight?
Good, very good. Thank you for having me here tonight.
And we have Las Cruces just popping in. Hello, Las Cruces. Nice to see you, sir. We have Psychedelic Comics. Good to see you. Knock, knock right back to you. And we have TJ Flash by Night. Good evening, TJ. How are you, sir? Now, Eddie, as people are jumping in here, the way I like to start things, give a quick synopsis of who you are and what your channel's about for anyone that's catching this on the rewind and is going to find your channel.
Well, as you know, I'm Eddie from the Batcave, and what I do is a weekly pool. I go to the comic book store and I talk about the comics. I try to read at least 2 books and tell the readers if they're good or bad. If something comes up where I think a parent should buy a book, I suggest them to buy a book because I learned how to read by comic books. And then if it's a slow week, I'll talk about a movie or I'll talk about an older issue that I have and show that off. And I try to stay like the 5 to 7 minutes. Sometimes it goes over 8 if I'm doing something special. Like I'm planning on showing the new Batcave or Bat Lounge, as my wife put it. So,
yeah. Did you want to give us a quick little preview of the Batcave?
Yeah, let's see if I can do it with this camera. All right. So, as I was showing Gary earlier, I call this a shadow box that a friend of mine's built. All my books are there, not all of it, but there's some of it. Laptop is plugged in, guys, so I'm sorry. She hooked up the toys there. And a Superman there. There's a little Batcave toy there. Superman. Let's see if I can do it this. My the Traveling Heroes, the Golden Age Heroes. And this is my Batman wall there. And she even put up pretty little lights in case she wanted to get romantic. So.
Right? Hey, nothing turns a girl on more than a toy room, right?
Oh, yeah. Once you turn off this light, it's like these little bright lights that pops up. She says, oh, we can have a glass of wine, blah, blah, blah. Hey, Jim, how you doing?
Come on in. We'll play with the toys.
Yeah, right?
Chop and drop. How you doing, buddy? I like that guy. He's always promoting everybody.
Hey, Marcus, how you doing, sir? Surfer, what's up, buddy? Everyone's getting their notifications. Everyone's popping in. All right, so, Eddie, let's start it out nice and slow, man. What have you got for your first book for us and one of your favorites?
One of my favorites. I hope it's...
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. Alex Ross, huh?
Yeah. This book made me fall in love with Alex Ross. When I was reading it, when it first came out, you actually felt like you're the reporter watching the scene of the heroes coming forth, of the age of the heroes and stuff like that. And the artwork was so superb.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah. I got hooked ever since with that guy.
Right.
That was definitely one of those book series. I mean, that one and Kingdom Come. That was just
Kingdom Come is another one. Yeah, that was a toss up. But I figured Marvel because that's where I saw Alex Ross first.
Yeah.
Yeah, and did you get his last Batman cover he did recently? It was just Batman with a white background. It was very reminiscent of the.
There were 3 covers. There were three different versions.
3?
Oh,
it was a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, but you could buy. So there were 3 books. 2 of them were available through Alex Ross's website, and then the third one I think was just at the con. It was a true con exclusive where it was only there. I got the first 2 books, that were signed, and those were limited to like 200 copies or 200 sets that were signed or something.
Do you have those within reach, Rob, to show them?
Of course not. Those are out in the fat cave.
But yeah, it looked like the timeless variants, except Batman was out a little further. It wasn't as close up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
really cool covers.
my daughter-in-law's father sent me an Alex Ross book signed. He lives out in Chicago, and there was a museum. They were doing an Alex Ross thing, and he just happened to go in there, and was it mythology? I think it was mythology. And I come home, and I got this mail. I go, what the hell is this? And there was a signed Alex Ross book, and I said, I owe him a bottle of whiskey when I see him next time.
Nice. Don't go cheap on him. Don't give him that old granddad, all right?
No, I want to give him what he wants, because that was pretty sweet of him to do that.
Yeah, I do have a picture. Hold on, I got just slide this.
Let me make you big, Rook. Oh, you can do it. You got the controls too.
Oh, I guess.
So we're just going to show you these, Eddie, because we're spending your money here live.
Oh, I seen that one. Yeah.
So there was this one, and then there was there was the one that was just a in-house one only, was just a pencil sketch variant.
Yeah.
Versus the colored one.
The Rob Safe Fat Cave.
Yeah. And then the other one was nope, not that one. Shit. Yeah, that was the other one.
I've seen that one. Yeah, I didn't know those.
Yeah. So those both came as a set.
Okay, I'm gonna have to hunt that down.
All right, nice. So let's get you big again, and let's get to book number 2, sir.
Amazing Spider-Man number 542.
Oh, what's special? Oh, just a.
Let me tell you, I had to dig through a lot of boxes on this one too. What's so special about this? Spider-Man kicked. He just beat the crap out of Kingpin. And to me, that was like one of the best moment in comic book history for that. And then after he told him, he threatened him in the jail, in the prison, in front of all these gang members and stuff like that. And he was going to put the web shooter. I can just easily end you right here. Put the web pool in your nose. Nobody's going to care. Down your throat. You'll die, basically.
Wow.
And say, yeah.
Thanks for Spider-Man, huh?
Oh, my God. I was like, yeah. I had to read this book like 2 times because like, let me read that excitement again. So that had me like, whoo.
And that's the thing about that character, right? He's a nice guy, but he's actually got a power set that if he wanted to mess up stuff, he could do it.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's just not more powerful than other heroes think he is. He's also smarter than most of them, too.
Right. And and the reason he did that because they almost killed Aunt May and Mary Jane or something like that. And he ended up picking up a Jeep at the sniper, threw it right at him. That was such an awesome scene. And there was, I read that he can beat the Hulk. But he didn't want to because of Banner. He just said, nah, that's interfering in life. I think it was an old issue a while back.
I was going to say, I don't think Spidey could beat the Hulk, but...
No, but he says something because he was science, so he used that.
Oh, yeah, putting his brain in the equation, yeah. As long as it's not Professor Hulk.
Right, no.
Nice, good pick. I'm going to have to look that issue up, actually, and read it. That sounds great.
Oh, yeah, that was an awesome scene. Oh. Crinkle up his skin right there, grabbing it and just, yeah.
Because there was another scene like that where he freaked out on a couple villains, and I think it was Rhino and one other guy, and just beat the snot out of him when he was in the black suit. I think that was during a Larson run, though.
Oh, yeah? I don't know.
Where he had enough, where the Sinister Six was after him, and he had been pushed too far. But,
look for him. He's always trying to be.
I always like it when they finally get to that moment when Peter Parker just says enough.
Oh yeah.
You take advantage of me. I quip. I'm nice. I try not to hurt anybody. But now you've gone too far. Now it's your turn to see how tough I really am.
Now just give him Mary Jane back, damn it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. Now, are you a Mary Jane or Gwen Stacy person, Eddie?
Mary Jane. In the beginning, it was Gwen Stacy.
I knew you were good people. The right answer is always MJ.
But then they just like changed it. Look at it. So much so
There
Oh
you
my
go.
gosh.
Famous couples. Nice.
Yeah.
That's incredible. I've never heard of that toy.
That was a Toy Boy. When KB Toys used to be around,
Yeah.
they used to
Wow.
sell all these different toys and stuff like that.
That's
Yeah.
right.
That's fantastic.
That's right up there with having like the complete collection of Peter Parker or Loves Mary Jane or whatever series that I have.
Right?
Like the teen romance version comics.
Oh, yeah.
Well, didn't they have another one too with MJ was writing a diary or something?
Yeah, it's just all.
There's been a lot.
Oh, there's just been too many that it's hard to keep track
Right.
of. Then
Now-
you're like spending more money on a different series on,
I know you were a fan of the old Batman cartoons.
Yes.
All the iterations, but were you a fan of the Spider-Man ones too?
Oh, yeah. Even the 60s that came out with the weird song,
No.
Yeah.
It's especially
especially.
the '60s one.
And then you had the electronic version. Leaves with the riff, go the '90s one.
Oh,
Then
my
they had
God.
that Spider-Man Unlimited cartoon, which was weird and cool though.
Yeah, that was good. It was more kid orientated, so that was pretty good. The 90s versions we used to watch as a family when my kids were younger.
And his Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends is out. It doesn't hold up today, but I'll never not love it because it just meant so much
I
to me.
think it held up when they had that X-Men special, and then the animation kind of gotten better
Yep.
throughout the years and stuff like that. Oh yeah, that was good.
See, for me, it was growing up on the '60s one, growing up on Spider-Man on the Electric Company, and then later on this channel I would have channel out here would bring in the Japanese Spider-Man import
With the karate and the big robot, whatever.
and the rope. Yeah, Leopardon.
Oh
Yeah.
jeez.
I'm going to answer TJ here. Now, TJ, there's not a bigger Black Cat fan out there than me. But the only woman for Peter Parker is Mary Jane.
Yeah, Felicia doesn't make a good partner as far from a life partner with Peter. She makes for some fun adventures
Yes.
together when they team up. But as far as a overall completing Peter Parker, no, she doesn't even care about Peter Parker. She cares about Spider-Man.
Right.
Yeah.
And I like Felicia as a solo act because that's where she's like her most unpredictable.
That's true. That's true. I think they released a miniseries on that one, right? On Felicia.
Oh, they've had.
Couple.
They're on the third run. They had a 2019 run written by Jed McKay, which was great, except for the first issue was, and then the rest were really good. Then he had another run in 2020, which was incredible, and now they have Iron Cat going with Jed McKay.
And then they're going to do another series with her and MJ now. And
Speaking of that, plus they had a one shot with Mary Jane and the Black and Felicia together, which Jed McKay wrote, and that book was fantastic. He wrote them smart. He wrote them intelligent. He didn't write them like bickering high school girls after the same guy. And they had a great scene, right? Because Peter's in the hospital. He's laid up. Peter is in and out of consciousness, and the two girls are protecting him. The Hood's there, threatening to kill Peter if they don't get something for him. So they're at the edge of the bed, and Peter wakes up for a second, and MJ's there, and Felicia's there, and he goes, "Oh, not this dream again. Please be gentle." And they both just look at each other like, "What the hell?"
Wow.
Great scene. It's so fun. All right, number 3, sir.
All right. Nightwing number 78, the holster with is it Rotundo? I can't think of the name here. Taylor, Rotundo, and Lucas. This book right here.
Oh, Nightwing. Okay.
Reason being because Nightwing is back to me because they did, I collected Nightwing a while back, and then the story started to suck back and forth. But the artwork and the storyline that's been going on fighting for Bloodhaven or Bloodhaven, whatever they pronounce it. Let me see if I can find that scene for you guys.
Well, that book is touted as pretty much in all circles as DC's best book right now.
This scene right here. I don't know if you can see it with the light.
Oh, wow.
Just effortlessly, just gliding through the air like that. and I thought that was cool as a reader because you're looking for something different to read, and Alfred left him money and all that stuff, but good. And so far the story hasn't been disappointing at all.
Right now he's got more money than Batman right now, right?
Yeah, Alfred knew how to use his money wisely.
Well, he didn't need any. That was it. He got the whole thing was he got paid and he invested, but he didn't need any because he was still working as a domestic servant in the house, had full access to everything. So
yeah, so that's like one of my favorite series right now with Nightwing.
Rumor has it though, Alfred's coming back.
Yeah,
I think he is. But how do they bring him back? It
has to do with Damien.
The Lazarus Pit.
Yeah, it has to do with Damien because I think it's coming out next week or the week after.
The Batman versus Robin.
Yeah.
You know what they have to do in comics though, with all these people that come back, they have to do like a damage control issue, or when they do one of those little side stories about how they reincorporate and get their life back after everything in their life has been
You've been declared dead. You've lost all your money, everything else. Now, how all of a sudden do you have to go back and no, I'm back alive.
Yeah, here I am. We need that story told.
They should do that in the Marvel universe too. After the blip, all right. We have.
Oh yeah.
They've kind of touched on that. They have touched on that a little bit, but I mean, it's like the weirdness of this was my house, and now it's not. Where do I live?
I'm still crushed about the whole situation with Alfred, how they used him when he snapped his neck and everything in front of Damien, and I'm like,
who killed Alfred?
It was Bane.
Yeah. And Alfred said, not in front of the boy. And he just, and that stuck in my head. I said, Jesus Christ, I thought there was like a rule to leave a certain character alone. And, they had to touch Alfred.
I kept thinking for the longest time that it was going to be Clayface that had been posing, because Clayface basically has disappeared ever since that whole arc in the story of Bane with the city of Bane.
Yeah.
Stuff. Because Clayface was working with Batman, and then he basically had disappeared. And we haven't really seen him much. We started to see him a little bit more recently, but he hadn't been around, and so everybody was like, "Well, maybe that's how we bring Alfred back." Is that it was just Clayface posing as Bane, and he's actually Clayface is fine because he's Clayface.
Yeah, but didn't they prove that?
That did all that, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, because I was hoping Clayface too. That's Clayface. And then again they broke my heart.
No, it's Alfred. Okay, great, fine, then leave him dead.
No,
I don't need him back
Bane
yet.
Want to kill Alfred just to hurt Bruce?
Yes, it was a whole thing in the whole City of Bane thing. He was trying to take over and basically show. It was all the part of this just constantly beat up on Batman shit. And you had Thomas Wayne was there trying to get Thomas Wayne, the Flashpoint. Thomas Wayne was working with Bane, trying to get them to show Bruce that this was all a waste of time, so that Bruce would give up being Batman and just be Bruce Wayne and be happy. Because Thomas Wayne didn't like the idea of seeing him be this brooding, unhappy thing, and wanted him to, even though it wasn't really his happiness, even though it wasn't really his son, he wanted to see his son find happiness, and so he was, of course, doing it in a twisted way.
Excuse me. Yeah, that's in a nutshell right there.
All right, so number 4, Eddie.
All right, I think you remember last time when I did the hot seat, I talked about this book here, Batman Special, The Player from the Other Side.
Oh, yeah.
It was so good that I ended up buying 2. I thought I bought 3. I couldn't find the other one. But this gentleman here, Rafe, or Raph, whatever you pronounce it, was raised up the opposite way as Bruce Wayne. Bruce Wayne's parents got shot by a criminal. This guy's parents got shot by a cop, which the police officer, I think, was Lieutenant
Gordon.
Gordon, yeah. He was in his unit there, in uniform. So he was raised exactly the same way, the fighting techniques that Batman and stuff like that. And I thought this story was so interesting. You're seeing 2 different versions,
right, of how he could have been.
It was almost like Mirror, like from Star Trek. I don't know if you remember that episode. It was something like that. So, Yeah, it was like one of my favorite books of all time.
I've had a couple copies of that come through my hands at times. I've never bothered to read it, and I've always turned around and moved it out in mystery boxes and stuff. And I think the only reason I've never held on to it is because it doesn't fit in my run. It's not a volume 1 book. It doesn't have
I love one shot.
the dumb reasons to not hold on to a book.
Yeah, it was. I really loved that. It was a good story. I mean, you're starting to get the emotion, and oh my God, what's going on? And then Batman does his thing, The Rock does his thing. They fight equally the same, so it was pretty good.
Well, who wins in the end?
Batman. There was how did it end? There was a scene on the roof. They were fighting, and an explosion happened, I think. The Raph got the worst end of it, and he ended up falling over the roof and stuff like that. And it was like, but then they brought him back a different version years later. Wasn't as good as the original. So
Batman got the win by default.
yeah, it was by default.
All right, number 5, good sir.
Number 5. Let me see. That was a tough one. Number 5. What if Spider-Man joined Fantastic Four #1?
Nice.
Classic.
Yeah. Reason why I remember I had 50 cents, or I was little when I first bought the original. I got the original copy somewhere around here, and I rebought this one. And because I was able to spend my money. I ran to the store. There was a local comic book dealer here. He passed years ago. But he was like one of the bigger guys here in Springfield. And I remember going to a store. I was living in Springfield at the time with my dad for the summer. And he's at work. He gave me money. Go to the store and buy whatever. And I went there, and I ended up picking this up. And always been one of my favorites. You know?
The others are so much fun.
Yeah. What is? I had like a collection of it. I just can't find a lot of it. Again, my mother was a gypsy, so every time she moved, I always lost a pile of books. Oh. Yeah, I used to love that.
I always love when a guest brings on a what if. Yeah, it's like when you see a Marvel team up or a 2-in-1 or the what if.
Yeah,
it is fun. Even the old Batman and Superman families are fun.
Yeah, and when I bought that, the gentleman's name was Dick Sykes, and I'm going through his boxes, and he was teaching me not to put the box or tap the comic books inside the box. He said, that's not a way to treat a comic book. So he took his time, started teaching me how to do this and that. Oh, wow. So, and that's how I got even more hooked on the books the older I got. So.
Right? And little knowledge helps, and he teaches you how to take care of them, so you have them.
Oh, yeah. He taught me how to take care of them.
What do you mean tap? What do you mean tap a comic?
Because he had them in the back issue bin, some of the books, and when I pulled them out, at that time they didn't have the plastic or the cardboard, whatever.
Oh,
so
okay.
I was putting it like.
Okay.
He came around from the counter and gave me a stern talking to, and
right. What are you doing in my inventory? Yeah.
Sir.
Don't overcram your boxes, maybe.
Well, a little kid, you don't know. You don't talk back to an older.
Right?
My mother finds that I get slapped at that time.
At least not in our day, you didn't.
Yeah, not in our day. Today, All right. The next one would be, I think it was a 3-parter. The Amazing Spider-Man 235, 236. Well, here's the other one. I don't know if you guys remember that story, Will-O-the-Wisp.
Oh, yes.
Where Tarantula mutated himself to this. And Spider-Man was trying to save him. And at the end, it didn't work. When the Tarantula started talking, he started realizing that he was a monster. Wow. And then he just killed himself at the end on top of the roof. And Spider-Man couldn't save him. But Spider-Man knew it was too late for him. And stuff like that.
Will-O-the-Wisp was always such an odd character.
Oh, yeah. He's like disappeared after this book. I don't remember seeing him anymore after that. But it was such a strong story. I'm like, it was an intense reading for me. You actually felt, and the artwork, how they drew Spider-Man going like this, you can almost see his emotions through the mask.
Still got his original What If #1 bought off the rack. Nice, sir. All right, number 7, bud.
Number 7. Woo. One of my favorite books, contested for number 5, The Wedding.
Oh, wow. Great cover.
Yeah, you know, Mark Brooks cover there. Sometimes I get to be a little softy, and I was so excited when they finally tied the knot. I mean, they didn't go on their honeymoon right away because he had to go fight, I think, Dr. Doom or something after that. But
and then on his honeymoon, he had to fight the Hulk.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah,
yeah. And he had the whole thing where Reed had worked it out, so he had a temporary time where he wasn't in thing form, so that way he could be with Alicia and
consummate their marriage.
Right, and then her dad is the one behind mind controlling the Hulk, because Alicia's dad is puppet master or whatever, and
I get this displayed on my desk over there on the other side where I do my video. Because always, I'm so happy that they finally did this. You know, it only took them 60 years almost to do this.
It was a better wedding issue than the Batman.
Oh yeah, that was a very disappointing.
Now, has Ben Grimm always been a favorite character of yours? Were you a big fan of the Marvel 2-in-1s?
Oh yeah, Benjamin. I got where is Benji? I got him somewhere here.
Now you remember
you got a big 10-inch thing in there.
Yeah, I do. He got. Oh, okay, you got me on that one.
Sometimes if you have a big 10-inch thing, you like to show it off.
Eddie, this is a family show, sir. Try to contain yourself.
I know. Your grandson called me later. Jeepo, what was up with that? I said, shh, never mind about that.
The thing is an action figure. What are you talking about?
Now, you know that Alicia got turned into a spider at one point too, right?
No.
In Marvel 2-in-1 with the Spider-Woman storyline, it was 4 issues, and Spider-Woman was her second appearance in comics. So issues 29 through 32.
Oh, okay.
It's a 4-issue arc, and Ben Grimm and Alicia in Marvel 2-in-1, and she's still Spider-Woman. Jessica Drew is still brainwashed by Hydra, and they send her out to get Alicia, and because they want to experiment on her too, and she gets turned into this spider being. Ben's finally able to save Spider-Woman, and together they can save Alicia.
Oh, jeez. Marvel 2-in-1, you said? Marvel 2-in-1?
Yep. That's an expensive little 4-issue run, though. You're probably going to pay like $30-$40 for the first one, and then $20 for each one after.
All right.
Great story, though.
I'm gonna have to hunt that. Well, I'm gonna have to look for it or get a trade. I'll be spending that much money on it.
Right. It's
digital
so
download.
Big. Oh, let me see. Oh, you can't blame me for the 10-inch thing. Hey, no one's ever blamed you for a 10-inch thing, Comic Journey.
That's right. Well, I don't know. I was just asking. Maybe his thing is 12 inches.
Let's fall right into that one. Great one, Rob. Good thing Alicia's blind. All right. Number 8, Eddie.
Number 8.
See what else he's going to try to show us.
There you go.
Oh, there you go.
One of my favorite. Where was I? I think it was in New Britain. In Connecticut, there was a store across the street that it was like a convenience store with the spinner rack, and then they had the book racks and stuff like that in there. Man, I ran in there, got this book. Who's not going to love Spider-Man and Superman teaming up like that?
Well, and you know what's so great? I mean, look at the perspective on that cover. That cover's always had a great perspective.
Yeah, I remember when he got the powers to try to beat up Superman from, was it Luthor? I forgot who zapped him. And then it wore off, and he's still trying to beat up on Superman, and he ended up breaking busting his fist or something like that.
Yes.
That was like the funniest part there.
Yeah, then Superman's like, "Can we talk now?"
Oh my gosh. Oh yeah, one of my favorite. It's not mint condition, but I had it for so long. But yeah,
That was a fun story. Then there was another one where they crossed over and they fought the parasite. Remember that?
yeah, I do. Where is it?
I'm gonna have you digging all your books out. Eddie's gonna be in big trouble with the wife. She's gonna go down there. The whole
As long
place.
as it doesn't come through that door, I'm good. Oh, I got the original one, but they released a smaller one,
Oh, nice.
and I think Shooter wrote this one. Jim Shooter, yeah, and he signed it for me at the Springfield Comic Con.
Oh, when they still signed inside the books.
Yeah,
Nice. It's such a fun read.
yeah, that was good. I like that one. Like the big one somewhere in the closet over there nearby DJ booth.
Dope. How you doing, sir? Yeah, and now I don't know about you, Eddie, but I'm just a sucker for the Treasury editions. I wish they'd bring that format back for some specials. Of course, they'd probably charge you $25 for one now and not $1.50. But
Oh, I know. And I got a stack of those.
you have the Conan ones.
I got one Conan, and I was thinking about you.
Oh, you almost just lost your signal if you didn't have one.
Got one in there. Man, hold on, give me 1 second.
Now it's the Treasury editions. You get the
Yeah, there was 3 Treasury
magazines. You get the magazine size ones now, but
right. But the Treasury edition was just so much fun.
yeah, but I can't slab that.
You can't. They are, but they do make bags and boards for them now, dope.
Yeah, they do.
Yep, I have all the Conan ones, but yeah, it's so great. My
Yeah,
favorite one is the one with him and Red Sonja on the cover with the John Buscema cover, which reprints issues 23 and 24 of her first appearance.
Yeah, I don't think I have that one. I have the other. There's another one in there somewhere. He's fighting some sort of creature and stuff like that. So I have 2 of them.
Ooh.
And
Good man, Eddie. You made the grade, sir. All right, number 9, buddy.
Number 9. Wow. All right. This one has sentimental value. I don't know if you can see it with the glare. That one, Master of Kung Fu number 16. This is second appearance. Now this book here, we moved back to Springfield when I was little, and my father knew I had this thing with comic books that I was doing out in Connecticut. He came home from work, and he threw this book in my lap. But he wasn't sure what kind of characters I liked at that time, so he just tossed it. And I had it for the longest time because I said, he at least he knows I'm into books. Dad and Star Trek at that time growing up, and I lost the book. So I was trying to rebuy it, and the price was so high at the time. Then I don't know, maybe last year sometime, I saw it at a good price, and I said, I got to pick it up. And I had to put it in this casing here because it's like one of my, cherished memory of my parent.
And, of course, it has the border covers, which I love, where the art breaks the border.
Oh, yeah.
And I want to say, yes, dope. That was actually the first. Conan number 16 was the first book I ever got slabbed.
Oh, really?
It's a Barry Windsor Smith, Roy Thomas adaptation of The Frost Giant's Daughter. And it's great. Fantastic cover. I have it slabbed and raw. It's just a beautiful book.
I have Conan number 1, but it's just in the regular bag and board and stuff like that. All right.
So number 10, sir.
10.
Now, I'm sorry. Go back to that one book again real quick before we get to 10. Now, he's fighting who? Midnight?
Midnight, yeah. The man is called Midnight. It was actually his brother or something? Or they grew up together? I don't exactly remember the whole detail on that.
Cool. Now, what was it about that book, though, that popped for you inside? Just a great story or just that it was given to you?
That my dad just handed it to me. He said, I didn't know what you want. I got you this. He just came home from work and he just tossed that. And I always cherished it. And then, I mean, the story was good. I mean, at that time, it was a great story at the time. But now when you read it, it's like, well, that's kind of corny. But, you know, you don't know that when you're reading a book. So
No, not when you're a kid. You're just enjoying it.
I was enjoying fighting, and I'm sad that they're fighting against each other because they're kind of brothers and whatever.
And especially back then, when you were a kid and you got a comic, it was like a treasure. It was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, that day I'll never forget. I was over here, and before we moved back to Britain, that he tossed that book. It's just, you know, I think he even got me those Spider-Man coins that they used to advertise.
Yeah, they had Spider-Man, Captain America, Hulk, Conan, and Wolverine.
Yeah, and I ended up with a Spider-Man coin. That of course is lost. So, but
I know those coins. I looked them up. They go for a lot of money now. I was like, you know what? Maybe I want to get the. No, I don't.
It's
all those good where it is.
All those little things, like that used to be like $1 or $2 back then, and you're like, look at them now, you're like, oh wow, yeah. If I only knew. Which is why everybody has on everything now.
That's good enough.
Yeah, that's good enough.
Like, I wish I had all those Burger King glasses I used to have. And
right.
Oh, remember those?
Well, 7-Eleven used to have Conan cups.
Oh yeah, they had a bunch of the Marvel figures.
All right, number 10, Eddie.
Number 10. Another memory lane. My mom. Remember when you had me in the hot seat?
Yes.
The Marvel feature present The Thing and Iron Man, number 12. And I told you when we went to Connecticut, I had to get my shots for asthma and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And she bought me this book to shut me up.
Because you were crying.
Yeah. So this one was one of my favorites. I'm sorry for the glare, guys. Because she bought it for me. And I kept it for the longest time until, again, she was a gypsy. I lost books.
Good parenting tip number 1. Never underestimate the power of bribery.
Oh, yeah. So, and I love the story, you know, and I guess it's the second appearance of the Brother Bloods or something like that. I don't remember. I think the other, I forgot when they first appear. But it meant a lot to me, that and the other one there, so.
Yeah, cool. And what I was looking at the cover, just a great cover.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry
about the lot going on.
Oh, yeah. At the end, I think Benji walks back home. Iron Man didn't have enough power to pick him up and bring him back to New York.
He does walk back home. And he's like, because he was something like, what a revolting development. And because they fought in the desert, wasn't it? If I remember
it was in the
right?
desert they were fighting.
Yeah.
That sucked.
That was a fun little story.
Yeah.
He's having to hitchhike back home like David Banner.
Yeah, and then play the song.
Yeah, because Iron Man's suit didn't have enough left in it to pick up Benjamin and take him home with him.
Oh, jeez. What a poor excuse. He just didn't want to carry them. That's all.
And Reed couldn't be bothered to send the Fantastic Car? Jeez, come on.
Right. You know that? Didn't they have like a little signal in their belt or something like that?
I don't know. I mean,
they did after that day, Eddie.
Oh, okay.
The thing made sure this will not happen again. Noah's leaving.
Thank you,
baked rocks too.
Oh yeah, good story, and it's a good tradition too. And that was
how they are.
The book was again that was up there in price until I found it at a cheaper price, and I couldn't resist. I had to buy it. So
yeah, and I love all those old Thing stories. They're just so much fun.
Oh yeah,
you know, and Ron Wilson's the thing. Ron Wilson art on him was always just great. Just
it was how can you not love the Thing?
Right.
Yeah. One of my favorite characters from the Fantastic Four. Reed, Reed has his moments. Sue's another one that I like because she's just a badass when she wants to be. Well,
yes, a Sue who could kill anyone in the Marvel universe with her little bubble. She put it in your brain and pop it.
Yeah, she's very powerful, and I think they only utilized her a few times during the past years, whatever. So,
yeah, because you can't utilize her full strength without making her the deadliest villain out there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, before we get to your 11th of the story, I've been wanting to call out that you're wearing the big two's Boy Scouts with Superman on the hat and Captain America on the jersey.
I did it for your show, Gary.
I'm like, he's got both. He's got the two Boy Scouts of each company on there.
Oh yeah, I don't know if you can see if I turn this way.
Oh, nice.
That's on my door there.
Well, why is the flag hung backwards?
You know, I don't know. It was the comic book. They just gave me that poster, so I took it. I wasn't gonna post.
That would just irritate me to no end. I wouldn't be able to hang it. It would just irritate the heck out of me. Now that I've told you, now it's gonna bug you for the next 2 years.
It's gonna bug me.
Dope. I'm mad at Man Thing right now. I love the character, but he made Savage Tales 1 an unobtainable grail for me with how expensive it is now. I'm sorry, Eddie. Go ahead.
Oh, what book was that?
Savage Tales 1. It has there's a great big Conan story in it, and of course I can read it in reprints. But it was like a $60 to $100 book, and now with all this stuff going, and that's also the first appearance of Man Thing in comics. Now it's $1,000 book.
Wow.
So that's basically like the only Conan Grail I don't have, and it's gonna stay there because I can't pay $1,000 for a book.
Yeah, it's like you're talking about Grail, and I guess you could consider the Marvel feature, the Master of Kung Fu, and What If #1. When I rebought them, I consider that my Grail because it was I had them and then I lost them and they said, well, I need to get my Grail back and stuff, and people when they talk about Grail, they talk about those expensive books, and I like doesn't have to be expensive. It have to be something like
there's little G. There's little G Grails and big G Grails.
Oh, okay.
Little G Grails are your personal Grails. So, whether it doesn't matter what the price range, whatever, or it's just a book that you covet and you want really bad versus the big G Grails, which are that legit blue chip, the AF-15, the Spider-Man 1, the Detective 27, the Action Comics 1,
the unreachable almost.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Right. Those are
personal grails and recognized blue chip grails.
Right. Well, I think there's even, for that matter, there's true grails, and then there's the blue chip books, right? So even realistically, like Giant Size X-Men 1, I think when somebody calls it a grail, in reality, it's still a little G grail. It's readily available. You can get it. It's going to be expensive, sure. But so it's a blue chipper and everything else. But when you get to a Deck 27, a Superman 1, the AF-15, where you're talking about just potentially spending $1 million on a book.
Yeah,
those are straight up legit grails. Your likelihood of really owning one is minuscule unless you just make that your focus, and in which case you're going to probably end up with something that's a 0.5 or incomplete or whatever else the case may be, because that's realistically where the average guy is versus going, well, I don't need to retire. We just sell my house, liquidate my 401k, and I'll buy an Action Comics #1. Why not? My wife is staring at me a hole right through me for just joking about that type of stuff.
I saw a figure.
Holy cow! The look that I got.
He came across that corner with the frying pan, ready to do business. Smart robot.
This is tasty. I'm like, oh, what is that page? Oh, okay.
Right,
I tell you,
Number 11 with a story, sir. Before Rob gets beat up on live.
Okay, I had a tough time. Where did it go?
We don't want to get the poor guy beat.
No, I don't want to get the ball right here. It was tough. It was either this one here.
Ooh.
Well, you could tell both stories, Eddie.
This one, again, I refer back when I was young, and I lost it. I ended up getting it back. The whole artwork with Neil Adam that introduced me to Ra's al Ghul. When my brother came from Puerto Rico, he bought me a Batman book, like a I think one of the episodes or one of the issues concerning the storyline with Ra's al Ghul, but it was all in Spanish.
Ooh.
I don't know how to read Spanish. So, but he gave it to me anyway, so I'm trying to learn how to read it in Spanish, but it wasn't working, but I understood what was going on. I think it was the issue where he was fighting with one of the Kung Fu guys with the knives, and they were going back and forth, not many words on it. And I was hooked because it concerned this gentleman right here.
Mm-hmm.
So it was part of the storyline. So I loved the artwork, and I saw this whole complete thing, and I was hooked. Anything with Ra's al Ghul that Neil Adams did at that time, I tried to get it. The whole thing with Batman and Talia, and like later on, they ended up having a child, which produced Damian. And I thought they forgot about him, then they brought him back. After that, I really love this book. I mean, it's one of my favorite ones that I have in display over there. So that's that. And the other one, you got any questions?
Killer cover.
Yeah, I think it's a double. Oh, yeah.
I think most of their treasuries have wraparounds.
Yeah. Goes like this. And the pages are still pretty good. I mean, it's all big print. I'm not used to this camera.
Man, what gorgeous interior.
Yeah, isn't it? I'm like, I think that the story was I was showing you earlier concerning my mother and father and stuff like that. This one was like because of my brother that introduced me to Ra's al Ghul, but he didn't know. He knew I like comic books. He just taught it like that.
Right? You sound like you got a lot of books thrown at you as a kid.
Yeah. Don't.
Here, kid, get out of here. You're bothering me.
Get
on. Yeah.
I'm looking at him and but it's in Spanish. I don't know how to read. I learned. He walks away. Instead of reading to me like a big brother, he just freaking just gone away. And then I know this is kind of recent. Superman number 39, Goodnight Moon. I don't know if you guys remember this storyline. Superman and the Justice League went to this hospital, the children's hospital. And the kids, they're not going to survive to a certain age and stuff like that. So one of them requested just to be with them. And what the superheroes did all together, they grabbed the kids in that hospital room, whatever, the patients, and brought them to the satellite, Justice League satellite, to have an adventure with the superheroes, to see the moon. That's where you see him in a little astronaut outfit. Superman flew the guys out there. They were trying to make Batman laugh. They made a whole joke out of it. Very touching story. That little soft part of me, like, oh my God.
The face on the girl sells the cover too. Like, she's got such wonder in her face.
Yeah, and it's like I bought like 2-3 copies of this because it was so good. And they did a good job with this book, and I think it's one of the best thing DC did to recognize, even though there's no real Superman, but to give them hope that there's could be something that if they want to see, we do what? There's a kid that's sick, they bring him to Disney to have their dreams fulfilled. This is somewhat in the baseline, but they went, let's go to the Justice League satellite.
Yeah, so. I mean, it's a great visual, but yeah, there's all kinds of things that you go like, really? Would they really let terminal kids out of a hospital to go up into space? And then why wouldn't you use a mother box to teleport everybody up there rather than have to put a spacesuit on a kid and carry
Now,
hey kid, you're dying of cancer. Let me expose you to cosmic rays potentially while I carry you to space.
Well, they had Green Lantern was there, right? So he did his little power ring. So they think it's cool, the power ring.
Right.
So I think
it's great visual,
nice and magical. Yeah. Well, and when you showed me that, you reminded me of the '90s Spider-Man, which we were talking about earlier, when he had that great episode where he meets this little girl, and she asks him, she makes a wish to Spider-Man. She wishes that he would tell her who he is, and he takes off his mask because I'm Peter Parker. You got to keep the secret. And then at the end of the episode, she's in one of those hospice care units where it's like a Make-A-Wish Foundation.
Yeah, that was they did a book on that. The kid who collects Spider-Man. That was this one. That was a second one.
Ooh.
That was a tough one between that one and Spider-Man. That was the kid that wanted to know who Spider-Man was, and he collected Spidey, and he was in that special hospital where it wasn't gonna.
Those ones always Those ones always tug on the heartstrings.
Oh yeah, and that was tough. I'm like, oh, was it this one or Superman? But
So there was an I don't know if you guys used to watch Alf.
Alf,
Yeah.
Alf, Small Wonder, whatever the hell else was.
this guy.
My kid just got the
I
big
smell a
robot
cat.
puppet of it.
Listen, this does not belong to me. This is the honey's.
Ah,
She loved Alf, and I bought this for her, but he ended up in my Batcave for some reason. So
my kid loves Alf, and my kid and I watch Alf. So I bought him all 4 seasons, and then he got excited. There was a Christmas special. Well, on this Christmas special, Alf meets a girl in a hospital while he's on the run, but she's not going to make it to see another Christmas.
oh
And I remember my kid; he was so mad because Alf made him cry, and he's like, I can't watch that one again. I'm like, I know it was a good episode, buddy, but I know that was tough. But
yeah,
they had a way of these fun these superheroic things, and also just the family fun. But when they wanted to write a tearjerker, they could.
oh yeah, oh yeah. There was something back in the days. It's like what was the Archie? Is it Archie? Yeah, Archie, not Archie.
And of course, especially after you become a parent, you become a great big softy. Everything sets you off then.
Oh my God, with the grandkids,
Yeah.
when you want to like come home, and then one is tugging at you. Please don't leave me. Yeah, but we got to. Please don't leave me. And then they start crying. Then the wife gives in and says, "All right, let's take them. Let's go." You know? And he's bouncing. He was the one I showed you in my video. I think in my last episode,
Right.
Logan, the maniac one.
Nope, you got to pay to live here, kid.
Now, was he named after Wolverine, or was that just a coincidence?
I want to believe that because I really do. I said, "Oh, I'm so glad you didn't have the Wolverine." And my daughter looks at me like, "Okay, Daddy."
Whatever you need to believe.
Yeah, I even bought a little Funko Pop that said Logan and stuff like that. And then I got my oldest son, my oldest grandson, Xavier. We call him Xavier after Professor X.
Right.
My kid's
That was my
named
daughter's
Xavier.
doing. That was not me. So,
All right, so my kid has 2 nerd names. His first name's Xavier after Professor X. His middle name is Xander after Xander from Buffy and the Vampire Slayer.
oh jeez, Xavier Xander.
Yep. Yeah, so his initials are XXB.
Well, thank God there's another B, there's a B on the end and not another X.
Yeah,
Right? Yeah, Xavier Xander's
There you go. Calling, what's up, Triple X?
yeah.
No,
Then,
that was, oh my
then my
god, that
daughter
was
goes-
such a trash movie. I hated that movie so much.
when we
And
call
I'm
X,
so easy to entertain, and when I went and saw Triple X, that is what made me dislike Vin Diesel as an actor. That movie was so bad.
okay.
And then when he had all his stupid Riddick movies out, he's like, "Are you afraid of dark?" All I could hear in my head was, "Are you afraid of bad acting? Because you're gonna get it."
That's why he did so well, just saying, I am Groot. I am Groot.
Yeah,
Well,
they
it's
get paid a lot
funny
of money for that.
because there's something he did that I love, and that's the Iron Giant. So if he voices something, I don't mind it so much. Like he voiced the Iron Giant, and I love the movie The Iron Giant.
That's a good movie.
It is.
It's a real good movie. I think it was a very touching movie.
It
So
was. It was. And the animation's great. It's got that classic old sci-fi feel to it.
Oh yeah,
Rob,
remind
you
me
can love it. It's got a giant robot.
Yeah, so I really watched it once a long, long time ago, but most of the time I see Iron Giant now is when I'm rewatching Ready Player One.
Oh yeah, I liked Ready Player One. A lot of people I know had issues with it. I love the movie.
Don't care what issues people have with it. I find it highly rewatchable.
Me too. I love it.
Enjoy it.
Ready Play. That was with the kid, right? Or
We're Ready
Yeah,
Player
they're-
One.
okay, yeah,
They live in the virtual world essentially.
yeah. All right.
They're fighting to control who can control the
And
real world. the
Rob,
virtual
when I
world.
saw King Kong in there too, I was like, yes.
Oh yeah, Mecha Godzilla and
Yep.
when he comes out with the in the Gundam suit, and it's like, oh,
And you got a little touch of Lara Croft in there too, and I was like, yes.
Oh, there was so many.
So much crammed into one. Yeah,
Oh,
that was
wow.
my grandson's favorite movie. We like watching it
that
over
battle,
and
that
over.
final battle was just insane because there was so much. No matter what if you like anything, video game, action, adventure, sci-fi, whatever, it was in there in some shape or form at some point. So it tickled a lot of nerd.
I enjoyed the movie.
And another movie I love that people had issues with was Elita Battle Angel. I love that movie.
Oh, that movie was good.
So good.
Great visuals.
Yes. All right, I'm sorry, but we got to get to your spec pick, buddy.
Oh, yeah, spec pick.
Oh,
spec pick.
All right, I had a couple.
This is the 10 something else, something, some unknown quantity now.
Right.
All right. Due to what's going on with the Marvel Universe with Phase 4 and with Black Panther 2 coming out and all that and the stuff that they're doing on Disney Plus, I think this gentleman here.
Oh, Neymar?
No.
Oh, Kane.
Might be bringing some more interesting characters back. I think like to the Fantastic Four with this multiverse going on. But when you said Neymar, he was on my list only because of what's going on. And if they do the story right, because I'm thinking of Black Panther. Oh, what does he have? Oh, you got the original. Oh, go ahead, boy. So maybe later on in those Phase 4 movies, when they bring the Fantastic Four with Doctor Doom, they might even team up.
There you go.
Do something,
Those supervillain team-ups, those were fun books too.
So I figure Neymar's going to be a big key with Kang, with the Marvel Universe. Again, that's my opinion, but with everything leading to with this multiverse thing coming on. So those are my specs.
They're great specs. They're fun specs too. Bronze Age specs are my favorite. Well, I think that might have even been on the edge of silver. That was Silver Age.
Yeah, this one was, I think, silver. This one here, if he wears the black, would be bronze. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was digging through that. Yeah, that should be my spec book. Because nothing's going on with DC, so I figure Marvel will be the best bet.
I hope they bring
Underoos Neymar. Yeah. We want Triangle Head.
Right, the old one where he's fighting the original Human Torch.
Oh, geez.
Fighting with, yeah.
Now, Eddie, have you been watching She-Hulk?
I haven't had the chance to watch it yet. It's been crazy in the house, so we haven't.
2 episodes in, I'm of course I'm loving it. So.
Oh, everybody's raving about it. I said I've been wanting to watch it, but we had family functions going on. Saturday we had a birthday party. Sunday we were people coming over, and it was like.
I'm glad that you're hearing people rave about it because I'm tired of arguing with people who are claiming how horrid it is. And I keep telling them, it's made to be a bingeable series. It's not really, if you're just going to grade it episode by episode, it's not really designed for that.
Right. It's a feature length story. It's going to play better, just like they all have when you
once you get them all. Yeah.
It's the same thing.
I'm not done watching that. I think I'm down to what two episodes, but she's like, I don't know what she's doing with it. It's like, what are they thinking? There's certain things I expected to happen, and it hasn't happened yet, and then they're bringing back too much of the heritage where it's just, to me, wasn't clicking. But, I guess I'm basing stuff on the comic books, and I know they do change stuff around, but it was just.
Well, yeah, they're going to change stuff to fit to do whatever else, and that's fine. It's a established thing, and that's sometimes the issues are people just get fandoms lately. I don't know. They just set up their own expectation of what it should be based on what they want it to be, and the second it deviates from exactly what they want it to be, it's just blind rage and fill in. Oh, they have an agenda or something else, rather than just sit back for a second and just let it play out like a show you haven't seen before.
Right.
and just and see and let them build out the story, and then judge it for its body of work when it's done, when you got it. If it's an episodic series, great, you can judge each episode individually. But when you have a serial series where there is no real, I mean, it just flows from one to the next tell the story. We're two episodes into, we did established our character, we've created the origin story, set them on their path to where we're going, and set that up. That's all we've done thus far. It's the first act. We're setting up all these things, and we've moved and progressed the story. From that aspect, it's great. If you wanted to see nonstop action, sorry, it's not the right movie, and it's essentially going to be, looks like it's going to be a sitcom, an action oriented sitcom when it's all said and done.
Right, like they changed her origin, and like Rob was saying, it's there's people are going to be mad that she didn't get shot and then get the transfusion.
Right.
It doesn't matter. The way they told the story now, it works. It works today.
She still gets the blood.
It works in the MCU with what's established in the movies.
It's more realistic for today's day and age.
Right.
I mean, granted, it's still that much of a blood accidental mixing. The way that it was done was a little bit fetched, but still, it's a more realistic thing than she gets shot. She's in her home, and a doctor who's smart and knows what would happen says, "Well, gee darn, Willikers, let me do a on-the-spot, person-to-person blood transfusion," not knowing her blood type necessarily or anything else,
right?
And just do that. I mean, that was
testing the blood that's going in her in any way.
It's a little bit unrealistic, but okay, you're showing the pathetic version of Professor Hulk. Yeah, I'm not. I don't know. Professor Hulk is kind of their way that they are trying to let Ruffalo be Hulk, be more Hulk, do more acting rather than just rampaging, screaming, everything else. It's and make him a little bit more vulnerable, I suppose. But I can understand why some people don't necessarily like him. I especially don't like him calling himself Smart Hulk. I mean, that's just dumb. Yeah. But hey, whatever, it's fine.
I mean,
I like her assistant too. Like the new character, her assistant is fantastic. She's hilarious.
Yeah.
I mean, they did a smart on the comic books. Hulk was talking to Spider-Man as an Hulk figure when he was in his Hulk form, but he was smart. He was actually talking something. I can't remember that damn story neither. I mean, the issue.
Everybody has a different version of the Hulk that they like. Some like the more powerful, souped up, smashing things. Some people like the intelligent. Some people like some other variants. And that's, you're gonna have your thing. Like, I'm not tied to any one Hulk. I don't really care all that much about the Hulk, to be honest. So
I did think it was funny in that Avengers movie when they told Bruce Banner to do his thing, and he was making fun of himself from the first Avengers movies. It was like, and he's throwing stuff around and smashing all disheartedly.
Yeah.
But no, it's been great. Now, does the family? I know we're off topic, and we'll wrap it up soon. But does the family enjoy the TV series and the shows with you and the movies?
Oh, the movies, yes. The TV shows. Do they? They didn't watch Marvel, but I know they watched the Hulk before me, so they're enjoying that one, the She-Hulk. There was another one.
Ms. Marvel.
No, Vision.
Moon Knight.
The Vision.
Oh, WandaVision.
WandaVision, they like that, so they were getting into that. They haven't seen Miss Marvel, not that I'm aware of. So
Miss Marvel is so charming. It's so good. Like every episode, it'll just have you smiling.
So yeah, like I said, I haven't seen the last 2 episodes to finish it off because it just, they had one episode. I was like that because I know they changed the story around with the thing with the mist, which the bracelet works well with that storyline because it's a young girl and made it more believable than turning into a cocoon and blowing. She has stuff like that.
Not without spoiling, the final episode will tell you some stuff that's important if you haven't been spoiled already about her. So
yeah, I've been trying to avoid it so I can watch
it. It'll make sense, and it's not as much about the bracelet as you would think.
But I understand why they avoided the Inhuman with aspect of everything. As if especially if there's other people you want to introduce, but also how bad the ABC TV show was with Inhumans.
Right.
Um, you know, the only good thing that they've done with Inhumans at all was a little bit, was basically Daisy and
On the Shield, right?
Agents of
Yeah.
Shield, yeah. But they've
Right.
done everything they can to pretty much disavow that stuff and really kind of exclude it from the current timeline at this point. Like there was a divergence in the timeline or something at some point there.
See, now the timeline's going to be back because of this gentleman right here.
It's all a mess. That's right.
Right. And he was.
He's going to fix it.
And he was that actor blew me away when he showed up in Loki. I thought the episode he was in was fantastic.
When he was saying, I'm watching this Loki at my family's house and my daughter's house, and I'm like this, no, oh my god, and they're looking at me like, what that? Who is he? I'm not. Who is he? And I named it before he says something, just to show how smart I am sometimes. Just,
There you are.
Well, what's funny too is I don't know if you guys get this as a comic person. Now, there's a lot of characters and a lot of stupid knowledge I have about a lot of characters.
And there's a lot that you don't have too.
Right, but there's a lot of characters I don't know anything about. But no matter what it is, everyone will all right, so is that comic out? Dude, just watch the movie. I don't know anything about this character. I'm just going there to watch it and enjoy it. Everyone thinks you know everything about every superhero. They don't realize how big the comic universe is.
Well, and how esoteric some of the characters they're reaching for are, or how limited their runs were in certain things, right? So, or where they're limited to. They might have had massive historic runs. Kang has been a long-standing character, right? But I don't read Avengers. I don't really read Fantastic Four all that much. I don't read Guardians of the Galaxy. What else is he shows up in, right?
He's a cosmic guy.
Yeah, if you're not reading that section, then it's like, oh, okay, so he deals with time. Okay, great, cool. He might be related to Reed Richards. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, I don't know. It's just what I read is like, oh, okay. Well, if you say so, I don't. And that's what I've loved is that I think, for me personally, so many of the movie properties that they're doing aren't really things that I've been really Spider focused growing up. So when it comes to Spider-Man stuff, okay, yeah, that I'm really kind of cool on. Some of the other characters I know of them, but I'm not deep steeped in their lore.
Like Moon Knight.
Moon Knight, definitely not. I didn't even know jack about him. Ant-Man, I know some stuff about him, but I'm not deep in the lore, right? So when it's really easy for me when I'm watching these things to disassociate myself from the movies. I know enough to know, maybe fill in some gaps or catch some Easter eggs to make it kind of enjoyable, but I don't know enough to get butthurt over the fact that they're not following a script that was printed on newspaper in 1965.
Or that it's not made directly with just you in mind.
Right, exactly. Like, how dare they write something that's not strictly for a white male? Oh, God.
When we were watching, I forgot, I think it was WandaVision or Loki, something happened, and my wife looked at me, so, who's that? I don't know, honey. I'm looking at you, so you can tell me what's going on.
She's looking at you like you failed her, huh?
Honey, I'll tell you what I'll do. I will pause the TV, and you can ask Mr. Google.
Right.
Oh, my gosh. It's one of those, I call it classic look from her. When we're watching something and she knows I'm into my superhero and stuff, and then when I can't figure out something or I don't know who the guy is, she looks at me like, what is she supposed to do next? I'm looking, I really don't remember. What? Isn't he one of your stories? Like, yeah, but I don't really.
Right, and it was the same with me, like the Echo character. I had never read Echo.
Oh, yeah. I mean, when Echo popped up, I said, Echo? How come that name sounds so familiar? Then I remember the freaking Phoenix storyline, whatever.
Oh, they get all these. They can do these characters of. Also, there's so many things that get changed and redone. I mean, we're talking tens, decades worth of material here. That's why it's kind of fun for me sometimes. My wife has a whole different lane that she's in. She's very deep into X-Men stuff from when she was a kid reading that stuff. And not an X-Men person. I mean, I'm a Wolverine guy, but I don't know the rest of the X-Men stuff. And so when we watch stuff on that, it's like, I have to rely on her because she knows that stuff. And always goes Spider-Man. She's asking me, it's like, it makes kind of nice, kind of
that's
yin and
cool.
yang there.
That's cool. When my family, like the oldest one, she'll say, Dad, you never really taught me anything. I said, what are you talking about? You don't teach me how to change the oil in the car, the tire, but do I know what year Batman was born? Yeah, of course. That I got stuck in my head. And I succeeded my job as a parent.
No. You got to teach your kid how to change a spare tire at the very least. Maybe not change oil anymore, simply because a lot of these cars, they make them in such a way that you can't get to that stuff, or some of the states you live in, depending on where you live, it can be very difficult to dispose of the stuff. But you got to teach your kid how to change a spare tire.
She's an old hag now. She got a husband, 3 kids. She can change. Her husband can change the tire now.
Here's AAA.
She's an old hag now. You see, I had one car back in the day. I don't know what was on the one tire.
You teach them how to bleed the brakes. There you go. Good for you, Gary.
Well, yeah. Well, see, I used to. There was one car I had. And I would change. I always kept a full size spare, and man, I got so good at swapping tires, especially on the interstate when when cars are blowing by you and you can feel them sucking you.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
But I got it down flat. I was going to do it. I could have been on a pit crew almost. I was so fast at changing the tire.
That was one of the things I loved about like the scouts was taking the kids, and then we'd take them and teach them how to do that stuff. Okay, today your meeting's gonna be at my house. We're gonna teach you, bring your bikes. We're gonna teach you how to adjust the air pressure in your own tires, how to change your inner tube, how to redo your chain on your bike, teach you how to change the oil in a car, teach you how to change a flat tire on a car, all that fun stuff that you got to teach them, and they get really interested in that stuff. It's good for them to learn those things.
Oh, I agree.
Teach them how to shake a hand properly. Now we did that.
Right. Now, Eddie, you actually closed out our August for the live shows, buddy.
Congratulations.
You are August closer for live.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad I was part of that.
Right? I think and at the beginning of August you were on. So August was your month on the channel.
Oh, I was excited. I was telling you, look, watch your daddy. Calm down.
Right.
Comic Journey, my son was on the team. So trying to get him interested in it. He was on the barbecue team.
Oh, really?
No, this is just Joe coming in to flex on everybody.
Oh.
No. I'm just picking on you, Joe. We love you, buddy. All right, so we'll start wrapping it up. Rob, what's coming up for you on your channel, sir?
Today's what day? Tuesday. Got it. Right. So Thursday, I'll be opening up a Spider-Man themed mystery box from Shop for Comics. Saturday, it'll be Only Slabs with Dustin from Two Brothers Comics. You want to check that out? That show nominated for 2 comic book community awards. Make sure you go to cbcaawards.com. Vote for whoever you want. Just go vote.
Is that still going on?
Yes. The voting, they announced the finalists, so the finalists are up, and the voting period runs for, I think, through next month or something at least. So it runs for a period of time where the voting goes on, collecting from the community, and then they'll do the award show towards the end of the year.
Oh, okay, cool.
Nice. All right, and coming up on my channel in 2 nights' time, we have Mars, who, much like Eddie here, did the 10-1-1 first. And, Eddie did the opposite. Eddie came on the 10-1-1 second. Mars is coming on in the hot seat after her 10-1-1 appearance. She had a fantastic 10-1-1. She's going to be great on Thursday night's show. We also have Candace coming up on the 10-1-1 on Saturday. And we have a bunch of future guests coming. Next Tuesday, we have E-Man. We have Pretty Nerdy coming on. We have Poke and Joe scheduled to do the 10-1-1. We have Cole. We have a bunch of guests lined up for August. And
You mean September?
I mean
August.
that too.
September, yeah.
Yeah, because August is behind us. So unless you're booked for 2023.
And at some point, Burke will be coming on. I just spoke with him today. We're trying to schedule that up. So we have a lot of good shows coming up, a lot of people. And we're just going to have a lot of fun like we always do. Eddie, what's coming up for you, sir?
Well, tomorrow I usually do my show, but I think I only have one book coming in, and I got some other, family stuff to do for the week. So next week I'll come back on to do my comic stuff. And then hopefully I could schedule the new Batcave that my wife finally did her vision. So to show the world what her vision was. So
is everything labeled with little signs?
That I did not do yet. But you got a sneak peek of what she did, and she did a beautiful job. So when I do it, hopefully she can make an appearance. Maybe her hair will be done by then. And we could have a glass of wine, and I could start showing the people whatever what she did for you. She did a beautiful job here. And this was just a small part of it that she did. She just did the whole thing out there. Redid where I always do my videos on every Wednesday. She did that like 3 or 4 times. That was like, oh, nice. We almost got divorced, honey, but it looked good. It doesn't look good. It's not. It's not uniform. It's
had to be more consistent, huh?
Oh yeah, she was determined to do that. So I can't argue with her with that. She usually does everything well. So and it did. I got the rocking chair here. She made it into instead of a Batcave, Bat Lounge. So and there's a sign there that I'll probably show later. Welcome to the Batcave, and I cross it out, and I say it's not bad. It's Sharon's cave because it's her rules, not my rules, or whatever.
Well, you just
I'm not here tonight. If I don't put this back in the right where it's supposed to be, you might not see me for a while.
Hey, she'll let you out of the basement eventually.
Oh yeah,
you got to feed and water you.
Oh yeah, when I was 6, she was just throwing food down. We had COVID in the beginning of the year, and then I didn't go upstairs because I didn't want her to get sick, nor any family members that come by. So I used to tease her. I said, "Honey, can you throw something down for me to eat? If I throw a roll of bread or something here, just don't contaminate anything else." And a can of spray.
You got like you're in the oxygen tent, huh?
Yeah.
Gave you the bubble boy treatment.
Yeah, she did. She didn't want to eat. I don't think she even wanted to open up the door. I don't let her breathe. Just tell me what you want. So I'll call you on the phone.
Wow, quarantine for real.
Oh my God, for a week. But I didn't want her to get sick. I didn't want to take that chance. It was that like that scary moment. I didn't,
Right.
And she's like the family. Once she gets sick, everybody's like,
All right, guys, I want to thank, first of all, my co-host Rob. Eddie, I want to thank you for coming on the show. And I want to thank the chat for coming out to support the channel and to support Eddie. Guys, the links to both of these fine gentlemen are in the description below. Go sub up Rob. Go sub up Eddie. Have a great time on their channels. And until next time, guys, keep it casual.
Have a good
Attention all, use channel sponsor Rogue Trader at theroguetraderutah.com and my code Keep It Casual for 10% off your comic cleaning and pressing needs. Remember, when submitting your books to be graded, use a trusted professional.